Okay, so here we are with 49. I'm going to use the sun disk just because, I don't know, seems cool. I set up initial money is like 300 bucks per person. I think they say here. And the bank is quite a small one, 7760. I didn't think it would be that small. These blacks are not in it. They're 500s that I'm not going to use. But yeah, I pulled the rest of money out. Got it hiding under here. Usually what happens is I pull out most of the 500s. There's maybe a couple left and then a bunch of other stuff. But, you know, usually it's around 8,000 something or whatever. Anyway, this one worked out quite easily. And let's see, what else? There was something else I had to do. Oh, I randomized the companies. So this is going to be the first company out. I kind of want to reorganize them because trying to hunt them by number seems difficult. We'll see if I can handle it as it is. Otherwise, I may have to reorg them. And we're ready to start bidding on the privates. And I'm going to use my sort of normal mechanism from 1830 on them because my assumption is that the prices are reasonable. And what is that mechanism that I use? I'm not sure I described it before. So the first player looks, and obviously if this was a 4-player game, they would almost certainly just buy this because then they'd get 2 privates. Oh, I gotta show you this thing. So that's plastic, like all except the thing here, and it's got all right, if I'm gonna show you, I might as well show you. Hold on. Instructions on how to deal with this, but it came with some stones you're supposed to drop in there. Didn't look like you were supposed to throw a whole lot in, so I don't want them clogging the hole. And this has a hole, it's kind of hard to see, has a hole right under, and this is all rubber on there. It doesn't feel right in my mouth at all. And I feel like I bought like a kid's toy with a wooden pipe bowl for a price that I consider a price of a normal pipe. Yeah, I tend to buy my pipes rather cheap when they're on sale or whatever. This was on sale, but about 30 bucks or whatever. And I thought it was going to be an acrylic pipe, you know, and I'm like, it'd be kind of cool to have a blue pipe. When I was young, I bought my dad an all acrylic coated wooden pipe, and that's more or less what I thought the stem was going to be. And let's just divert to this for no reason. And yeah, I think I'm going to pull this part out. No, because I started it. What happened was it would get too hot, you know, so he almost never smoked it. It was a beautiful blue marbled looking thing, but it just was kind of a shitty pipe. It was kind of cheap. All right, back to the game. What I do is I take a look at the first player, and in an 1830 game where there's 6 companies, I roll a die, and 1 through 6 they pick one, you know, and they put their bid on them. I'm not sure what to do in this case if I draw a 6. I'm not sure where I put my dice. Wow. Well, that's interesting. I'll be back. After a long journey that makes little sense to anyone. So here's the problem. I have these number markers, but they have to be in the right place. So anyway, I'm going to look at this, and 1 through 5, I'm going to make my pick on that company. I don't know what to do if I get a 6. I really don't. I'll probably pick the company I'm most excited by from knowledge of other games. Yay, I get a 6. How wonderful. Okay. So, which one entices me the most? Well, I don't remember what their capabilities are. They have little pictures here, but I'm going to have to look them all up. And this is the Sucky Valley, essentially. This one is very interesting. So I'm going to talk about that one. That one's definitely one. The token can be very interesting. What is the first company that's available, and do I have a chance of getting it? This Rete Central. That's in a port. Well, that makes that interesting. This one allows me to pop up somewhere. Not all that excited. And this one is the B&O. I'm not that excited about the B&O. So I'm going to go between these two as the two that most excite me right away. And we'll see which one I'm dropping my money on. On the first one of them. So I'm going to put this here with, I'm going to be clever since I have a card for this, with a $50 bid on it. And I'm not used to doing this with a card, so we'll see if that works a little better. Normally what I do is just boonk, and that just means I've got that $5 bid. But I'll put that like that. Now it's possible that one company, that some companies will want to go more than, or some players will want to put more than one bid down. That might happen. So this guy, same deal, 1 through 6. You know, he might buy that first one and then this just drops, or he might get a 6 again and then I have to make that kind of decision again. Nope, he buys that first one, which is really a good deal for him. So I get 80 bucks back. Now, was this a smart move? He pays his 50, gets this, put that there. That means the next 3 players can each buy a company. There's a good chance that all I'm getting is this shitty little company here. And that is not good, but whatever. At least I don't think it is. Remember, these can be sold for twice their value to the bank except for this one, which means the big hit here might be a particularly interesting company, just like the Camden and Amboy is. It doesn't look like it does much for you. Well, it actually does. So on the first player, what are we looking at now? Well, I'm happy with any of these, to tell you the truth. So what I'm going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to think about what my favorite is. I'm going to actually deprioritize that. 6. Okay, I deprioritize. What does that mean? Well, we got the big one. We got the port one. Yeah, odd even. I'll just pick this up for 75 bucks. Okay, well, the auction is going, you know, way fast in terms of, like, nobody's doing anything interesting. It's on him. Unless he really, really wants that. 1 through 5, it's going to be this one. And he'll pick that up. That's going to cost 110, and then we'll transfer the other one over to the last player. Where does that move the first player marker? Well, it's a good question. He bought legitimately. He bought legitimately. It's going to give first player marker all the way over at the beginning. Stupid. I was thinking this is the first company available for sale. It's not. It's the Lily Bio, or Lily Biome. I don't know what it's actually called here. Lily Bio. Okay, close enough. Which is over here and does not sit on a port. So actually, my thoughts, which were like, well, if I get the port company, I'll be able to start that company if I go first, aren't true. This guy gets the first bid. Now, what else is exciting about that is he also gets to set the price and start that first company right away. And given that, it's almost impossible that you will actually gain your revenue more than once. What's especially nice, though, is think about the B&O. It costs you, from 1830, it costs you 220 bucks if you buy it, you know, just at price. It makes 30 bucks. You can set it at 100. Basically, you make 10 bucks off of it and you're forced into owning the B&O. Well, this it only cost me 150, but it's worth 200. So I make 50, 75 bucks off it right away. It's a lot more attractive. So maybe I was underestimating its value. Maybe it's worth bidding on. Maybe not. You know? That's something that's kind of hard to tell. Well, I'm going to start that up at 100, and then we go to the beginning of the regular stock round over here. If I had started it at 68 bucks, it would currently have 136 bucks in its company treasury. It has 200 instead, minus 130 for a token fee. Oh, yeah, that was fake. So that's my cost for my 3 tokens. I'm really not sure about this whole token fee thing, and this actually is on the board at this point. For whatever reason. Some of the games, they're not on the board until something happens, like they get an operating round. Some of the games, they're on the board as soon as they float, which is what this is. And now I have the next the next player coming up. Now, choices for starting the next company, which is this Lily Bio. And I have this. No, he got the studio. No, that's not that. I did not buy the number 1. That's the number 2. I'm allowed to layer upgrade standard gauge track at half price. Well, that's attractive. Do I just want to buy this, though? Is there any reason not to? And I don't see a reason not to. Now, what stock value do I want to start it at? Well, let me get my calculator so that I can speak with math. I have 250 bucks left over. That would allow me 2 shares at 100. That's not great. Three shares at 68 doesn't do me much better, though. So I think I will buy 2 at 100. I'm just going to get my company started. In most games, you want to do that. There might be reasons not to start certain companies, but yeah, why not? The player can get more money into. By the way, I only paid 40 for his initial tokens, and I did not place them on the board. The third company is just up for offer again. Now this one is this purplish thing, which starts down here. How does Kantiana look? Let's take a look at some of the eventual track. But what am I going to do? Refuse the company? You know, I don't know. Wow, Syracuse sucks. Interesting. Okay. So what am I going to do about this? I might as well buy it because it's the only one I have for offer. And I'm really not sure I like this forcing you to buy a company or just pass. What am I going to do if I don't buy the company, right? So, am I going to invest? Well, how does that look particularly good? I guess if it was a shitty-ass company. And what do I have as my thing? I have this SCE, which is this, which is just about perfect for that company anyway. So why the hell not? Now, in this case, if I spent 200 bucks, I've got 80 bucks left that there's no guarantee anybody's going to buy a 68. But at 272, I can buy 4 shares of that thing. And I can buy them right away. And because you're allowed to own 40, well, yeah, you're allowed 4 shares, 3 certificates. You're allowed to own. You're allowed to buy 2 extra certificates when you start the company. So why not? What are my promises here? This is the IFT. It pays 90, so I mean it's not cheap like these guys are, but it's what I have available right now. You know, I'll do it. Like I'm being forced into my company choices. It may not be entirely the case. There are 6 companies, which means if I pass on one, I may get a better choice. I'm not too unhappy with the choices I have so far, but maybe there's something that's just awful. And we'll learn, I guess. Here we have 225. 225 is not very helpful. That sounds like I'm going to be starting at 100 again. Smaller footprint than I'm used to as I start to see what's going, and there's only going to be one company left. But this one, he's got the port capability. Let me put the markers on there to help remind me of what that actually is. And what's cool, well, what's not cool about that is I'm not in a port to begin with. This is available. Okay, that's not a bad port. And that is about the only thing. And this isn't that exciting a city. It's not like, I don't know. It's not like Palermo, I guess. But, yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's okay enough. Where I'm probably going to be able to use that. But the thing is, this is not a company that I would right away say matches with that, but it's the only company I have a choice on. You know, do I want to wait? Yeah, not really. That gives us our last player, who is kicking around down here. And if I wait, sure, I get this really flexible company in terms of where it goes, but not for a while, because everybody's invested fully in their one company. And unless I want to be the investor, which isn't always a bad thing, I'm left with kind of a, well, gosh. So what is my situation? Well, I'm sitting with the Society Maritime Siciliana, which allows me to start anywhere on the board, basically. Which means I could ooze my way into Palermo, as an example, if I think that's a particularly attractive place. Or Messina. I'm not sure if there's anywhere that looks incredibly attractive to me right now. Let's take a look. I mean, Palermo certainly does. Catania I'm already near. I might be able to run that. I'm not too unhappy with my choice, given what I've got. So, do I have enough money? 175, 185, 190. That is not enough for me to buy 3 shares, right? That's 204. I'll have enough very shortly, but with only one operating round between, I won't make money off of anybody else's company. Do I want to just get started at the 68? Sure, why not? I can start it at 68. I can't buy a lot of shares, but I can at least... Oh, this guy could only take his president's certificate because of the company he had. So he has kind of a slowed down reaction to everyone else. So I could just, you know, buy that 20%, and I think I'll do that. Rather than buying into somebody else's shit. So, yeah. It's interesting time. Nobody has enough money to buy 2 shares of this. I have 150 bucks. And I'm a bad person. 150 bucks is enough for me to start the Garibaldi. I have enough money for a train over here. 50, 60, 70, they run 100. That could be a problem. However, there are loans. How crazy am I? Pretty crazy. Okay. What does the Garibaldi allow me to start at? It allows me to start at a number of different locations. Calasantia. I mean, first of all, I am in the best city in the game to begin with, right? And as soon as I can hook this up, which is when I can run my train, I'm going to be able to run a train 1, 2, 3, 4 for 10, 20, 70 bucks off a single train. That's pretty fucking hot. But I think the situation is that somebody will steal one of my two companies if I start the Garibaldi at this point. But let me just see where Catacentia. I don't even know where this is. But it's going to be a town. Oh, yeah, that doesn't look very appealing. Messina, we know where it is. Ragusa. I thought that was on the boot. Maybe there's two Ragusas. Like far up. Terranova or Trapani. There's Terranova. That's interesting. And Trapani is way over here. Other than Messina, I do not see one that is really terribly appealing to me. And Messina's not as good as Palermo, right? Everything's kind of blocked off here. I'll have to work my way down there. That is a nice run. Yeah, it looks really sweet right now. Does it stay nice? We got a 90 there. We got an 80 from Messina, which isn't bad. Yeah. But I really do believe I'll lose one of my two companies if I buy both of them. And part of the reason, well, is that guaranteed? Is that guaranteed? Look, this is going to be gone. I'll have 25 more bucks. See, the problem is I can't defend either of my companies until I lose one. And I might lose them both if things aren't really well done. Why doesn't he have shares? He started that at 100, yeah. Okay. Gosh. Let me think some more. I think I meant look up the rolls, and I looked up the rolls on bonds, and bonds aren't available until the 8 train comes out, so there's no option. I can't start a second company. I don't have enough money on this thing to get it started. So I'll buy more shares of that. And 100 bucks gets me one more. And now we start thinking about other people. Not enough money for anything to happen with anyone. Priority lands over there. Nothing sold out. I think we push into the first operating round. And what we're going to do, in brown, you go through 3 operating rounds. In yellow, you just go through 1. This is nicely set up in terms of, I like the way the track works compared to, in some of the games it doesn't really look like it works right. This one really helps you do things in the proper order. So, did I put my token down? I did. I'll take a little break and come back and start my operating round. Okay, so, privates have paid out. We're on the top company, which is the Rete Central. Nothing too exciting here. Right? I have to look at what my best route is, where I can start hitting stuff quickly, and I can get there for free. This is expensive comparatively. I don't see much reason to dedicate myself to 2 trains right away. It's going to take me a couple of track lays to get anywhere. So yeah, I'll lay some track. I'm going to lay regular broad track, or normal gauge track, because I'm sitting here. Everything's nice. I'm sitting here on the plain here along the coast. I don't see any real reasons to start paying huge quantities of cash. I gotta buy choo-choo at this point. And then I go back in stock value. Wow, things are falling all over the place. What's going on? there's only really one option. I got my $100. In fact, I don't have the money to buy a second train anyway. And I'm set up to start making money next turn. Okay, to the next company. The Sherbert Company. Anything exciting here? Oh, I paid out the privates. I don't know if I mentioned that. So I've already got track laid. I might as well go with broad track because I'm going to be hitting these, except maybe I want to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't reach there with a 4 train. So I'm just going to start cutting through this stuff. And again, nothing too exciting. I find myself some broad track because why not? Stupid blue pipe is weird. Tried it again. Okay, and again I have to buy a train. Don't have money for 2. Not a lot of excitement here. So I'm going to back away because I'm assuming most people watching this are XX players already. Not that this is a highly complex one. It's got the complexity of the different types of track though, which I think, first of all, it adds a lot of pieces to the game, but and therefore to the cost. But it also makes it kind of more difficult to make certain decisions. Even though I'm flowing through them pretty quickly, I could see where, you know, that choice of what track to lay or whatever might actually impact people a little bit more. You know, am I gonna have to go through here? Well, it doesn't matter. You could lay track. Well, it does matter, because once I do the broad track to here, I'm going to have to be doing it through these. But because there's no stopping point on the doinker. Now, what's interesting about that is I may not want to go straight across, right? Because I'm running 1, 2, 3. This is my 4 train. This is all it can do. It can't go running off over here. So any other track I lay doesn't really matter. And in fact, this 1, 2, 3, 4, that's all it runs. So yeah. The reason not to start with this is all of the special stuff in this is special stuff that doesn't show up in that many games. You know, like the different gauges of track, the way the cities work, the way the loans work. It's all very different from what you're going to see in other games. The way the trains work, the fact that they're hex trains rather than city-based runs. As to the distance. So in a lot of ways I would say this is, even though it looks like it's a fairly simple game, and it is, unless you're going to make this sort of the end of your XX experience, it's probably not your first choice. You know, it's probably not where you want to start. All right, and just because I had to babble. As long as the mouth is running, the tears aren't flowing. Morbid and all. I don't know why I have to do that shit. Okay. So, on this company, I got some interesting things. I am sitting in the mountains, which means my first track lay is going to cost me money. I can't sell privates yet. I'm assuming. From phase 6 to 10, yeah. What I want to do is pretty easy. With a 4H, I could run 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not too bad. I could run 1, 2, 3. But here's the thing. If I don't build broad track here, I've got issues. So what I'm going to be doing is taking a piece of track, maybe this one, like this. And I'm going to be buying some narrow track. I'm going to pay the full $40, but the idea is that I could be breaking into here, or maybe up this way. I think this looks even better. Is that, you know, the best move? I don't know. I'll pick this one. I think there are sharp curves that go the other way as well. I hope there are. There are 2 different numbers. And this is going to cost me 40 bucks to build. I'm the pink company. Gives me 10 back. Sorry for doing things so slowly like this, but... And I don't have any token to lay, of course, but 100 bucks gets me a 4-H train. Now, there's only one more 4-H train left, and there's 5 companies in play, which means somebody's going to bring out that 6H. That's a scary thought. Are they going to have the money for it? Did I err? Because I'm looking over here. If purple's next, they will not. What about green? They don't have the money. They're fucked. Yeah, pretty much. Unless somebody hooks them up or something, they are not going to make cash off that. Now, I have more money to push into there, but this is not good. I'm able to notice this if I understood the game better before. You know, if this wasn't my first play just going cold, I would have seen that. Maybe would have even realized it if I was playing opposed, but I doubt it. I'm too often into that. Well, I know what I'm doing. I'm playing an XX game. Da, 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 da. Well, yeah, but like in 1856, another game with loans, you can end up... unfortunately, in 1856, you can start floating loans, so you can almost always buy trains. But here, there just are not many starting trains. Damn. Everybody's got some tough calls. Started this one at 68, bought myself 3. I'm going to be able to buy a 4-H train, but it can't go anywhere. Uh-oh. Well, this is going to be funny. I think I'm going to be crashing this game probably just because everybody's getting hit too hard by the starting choices that they made. So let's take a look at this. Well, I have this. That will help once the 6H is out. I can build this track. The 6H... Who brings out the green? I don't know where phases are listed in this one. There we go. The 6 brings out the green, so I'll be able to upgrade Catania. Well, that'll help. But what I was looking at is, yeah, actually no. I can get the 4H because this is going to be not narrow gauge, right? Narrow gauge is the issue. Narrow gauge pays twice as much for checks in terms of movement cost. But here's the deal. Let's say I want to go here, the cheapest place I can go. It's going to cost me 80 bucks. I have to play wide gauge track, because that's what I'm coming off of. I can't, you know, lay some other track that doesn't count. Now, if this guy connected up to me, he could screw me over with narrow gauge track and cause all kind of issues. But 80 bucks is that money. That leaves me the 100 for the train. Okay. So I'm all right, right? But not thrilled. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up just in case that 6H doesn't come out, because I'm not sure it is. So that's 40 of my bucks. All right. I might be able to handle one player crashing. Two would have been a little extreme. And I have to buy my train. And that puts me on the 6H and I think some impossible choices here for the Archimedes. Use my private yet. I think that's the one that lets me slide into somewhere. Not sure. You know, that boat doesn't mean much to me. Yeah. At least I make a lot of money off of it. I can't upgrade Syracuse because the first 6 hasn't been purchased yet. I can't do much of shit. These are both gone. I hope. I do not have the money for the first trade. Problematic. I could lay narrow track here. That would cost me 40 bucks. which isn't bad. But my company, I'm only going to be able to put cash into it. 50, 60 bucks, it's going to be worth 59. So I'm going to be putting 60 bucks into there, essentially. That still doesn't give me enough money to build that train. I'm not going to have enough money to buy a second share, so I guess I won't be buying that first share unless I can find somebody who's willing to give me a hand, which doesn't happen. Not in my games. So yeah, we got problems. And I honestly don't think I want to build track because I may need that 40 bucks for when I lay my track. Whoopsie. Us to the stock round. We have some people who are doing stuff, I guess. 60 bucks each. I could buy, well, I could help that, but we don't want to do that. Instead, I'm going to buy a share of this. Somebody else is buying it too who has any cash, which actually puts us back around to here. This guy bought a share of it because helping his company out doesn't help him right now. And it's quite possible because people can sell shares of it that, well, it would be possible that this thing could close. I think it's highly unlikely, but it certainly is off to a horrible start. And that's the end of the second stock round, and we flip these suckers over, and now we're going to start making some money. And that's all kind of interesting. I need both hands to be able to flip a stack in this game because of the big wooden counters. Interesting though, I mean, you know, forced into this company or being an investor, those are his only two choices because of the forced order. This company has the worst town on the map out of the companies that are available. It has because it started so late and he was starting it at a low value. Well, he was starting it with very little cash. Not enough money to buy the only train offered. This is horrible. All right, let me pay out for the privates. Those privates kicking around a little longer than I should have, but it didn't produce any extra money or anything, so no effect. First company is indeed that one. And I don't think there's anything too exciting to do here. I know where I want to go. I'm going to take the sharp turn. I don't know if this is wise or not. You know, maybe it's better to start heading this way. Hard to tell. Now I can run my 4 train. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I said, 7 a share. And that's 70 bucks. We're only worth 90. If I pay out, I'm not moving anywhere. If I don't pay out, I move back one, I get more cash in my treasury. Which one to do? You know, again, this is not a normal situation. Normally you run your train the first time and you're going forward and you're happy and you're making money. I'm not. Does another train make sense? Well, $200 is a lot of money to come up with. I'm going to pay out, get some more cash into my pockets. The company made 5 a share. Obviously, this is the big money maker, right? Immediately, I started thinking, wow, what a slow start. We're not going to get anywhere. The companies aren't going to get cash to get their trains until players have enough money to buy shares, and the players are making some little money. I forgot about something, though. The companies are holding large percentages of their shares, and they make money off of that large percentage. That's going to be a little painful with them sitting here in this space, but I'll live with that, I guess. But yeah, we're starting to see some money moving in, which might mean being able to buy that 6H train. Maybe before he does. If not, everybody buys up their 6Hs, and he may well end up closed if it's not going to happen. I'm pretty sure, because he's got something that is going to make him some cash. I honestly just can't guarantee anything at this point. This. Little boxes, big wooden discs not moving. is a bad combination, or discs sometimes not moving. You need more space to be able to understand what's going on when discs can't move. So like 1870, which has a pay out full, pay out half, don't pay out, and on pay out half it stands where it is, I believe. If I have it right. Actually, I think that moves forward on pay out half. But there's one that has the pay out half and stands where it is. That creates messes, right? Anything where tokens stay in the place that they're in is problematic. And those more modern, well, the Lonnie games, a lot of them, but a lot of the more modern designs have a linear track that has enough space that you can represent different positioning of the top tokens to show something, if you've got these wooden discs. If you don't have wooden discs, it's a little easier because these things kind of eat up space worse than other things. But honestly, no, it doesn't make a difference when you're dealing with the two-dimensional track like this and whatnot, I don't think. I think it doesn't make a difference. Now, I was getting to correcting myself before, so this is not just me, being maudlin or something. That puts us to somebody who's a little different from everyone else. Only 30% of this company is sitting in there, but he's gotten a lot of upfront money, so he could actually build a second rail, a second train. The problem with that second train is, what is he going to do with it? Well, once he buys it, his next turn he can start setting stuff up, so not so terrible. Paid out with this thing, this purple thing, because that gives me 15 bucks into my treasury. I'm getting a lot of cash in pocket. Yeah, a lot. 20 bucks. Yeah, this game is just weird. But it does mean I'm only getting 15 in here instead of the full 50 that I could have gotten off a Swallow. So 35 bucks more, 45, 50. I would have enough for the train if I had swallowed. I don't think I need to do that though. I think I'm making close to the top line. Why rush things? Especially when it means it would cut into the cash that I have on hand. Of course, I'm going to be able to cash this in for like, I don't know, because if I eat up all my money buying the train, I may not be able to cash it in for much. And I will need to lay this track. I can't lay that track until the green's out, and I already upgrade that. So actually, I don't want to buy the two trains. I'm running a 4 train. It's on normal track, so I can make it and make my $5 a run. And the last company falls back without making any money. We go into the stock round. Look, he only has 35, 40 bucks in hand. Not enough to buy another share. Plus, as that price drops, that extra share is looking uglier and uglier. However, I do have this, which is worth 59 still. It's not losing money, at least, unlike my other shares. But again, I can't put enough in to buy that. I need to get 95 bucks in there. That's going to be 2 shares. 2 shares is going to cost me 104. That's just not here. So, serious mistake to buy that company. Interesting point, actually. Well, vaguely interesting. I could throw the money in. I have 50, 60 bucks down here that I could put into this. Buying a share, making the offer to him to start making money and not losing as badly, because then he could sell his share and buy back some money. I do not have enough cash to buy a share of anything else in the game, right? Oh no, I have 60 bucks. Screw that, man. Never mind. I buy a share of this. I'd rather make money. I mean, honestly, this is a really iffy proposition. It is going to keep losing money. So Now the problem, of course, is this is the 20% share, which looks remarkably like the 10% shares. The only thing is it has two little symbols, which helps a little bit, I guess, but yeah. And I think that's the, well, let's keep thinking. Still stuff I can do. I can sell this. Hey, just cost somebody some money. 59, 60, 75, 100, 90. I buy myself a share of this, and I've just thrown 90 bucks into here, which gives me enough money that he can buy a train. Yay! This is actually a big deal. Do I need a second train right away? No, but I have room for another train. And that 1,200 bucks for a 6H is going to be able to do me stuff. I don't think I want wide gauge. This is, well, this is pain, or I don't think I want narrow gauge. This is painful is the thing. So you got to kind of plan ahead in detail here. I'm not going to worry too much about the cost of it until the time, but let's say I have narrow gauge, then I can run 1, 2, 3, right, no, 1, 2, 3, and that would be all I can run. But if I had a 6H on wide gauge, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Of course, the cost across here is prohibitive, but maybe? I don't know. Another option, though, is I could be running my 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the port, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, and get a little bit extra that way. So I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm aiming for the 2 trains. A little bit of consideration, we pass all around. Priority still ends up there. And we're back at the start. Wow, this is crazy. I think I'm going to play a little bit more on this video before I load it up. Or maybe I don't. Screw it, man. Let's load it up. Yeah. All right. We're seeing the most of the companies in a very nascent sort of stage. Everything's moving slower than it does in other games of XX that I'm used to. And this is ridiculous, but it was just a horrible, horrible decision born from not knowing how to run the game. But so far, let's play a little bit more. But I'm going to take a break. At the end of the stock round, I paid out my money already. This actually goes down because there's a share in the bank. Oh, I forgot about that. If the company doesn't buy it up, there are shares that are unsold. This is a really, really different, it defies your expectations. Now, I could have bought that, and I would have allowed myself to, right? No, couldn't buy it. You have no chance of preventing that. If somebody sells shares and nobody buys them up, you're hit. I can buy it during the company's operating round. I doubt that I will. I think another train is more valuable. Somebody's sure to buy that share, right? This share is still available, even though it's a 20% share. It's not covered by the 10% that's in the bank pool. But if the company buys it, it does cover it. All right, I paid out my privates. First company is my big orange one. Run at 7 a share again. I have enough money to buy myself the first 6H. Now that changes the game. We're in the green stage now. Not that he can do anything with it, but it also means that, well, I also have enough cash left that I can set up another rail line here. Now this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, could make it there, but I gotta build lots of track. I'm using broad track because for 40 bucks I can connect that up. I hit Palermo twice, that's great. I upgrade Palermo to 90. I'm going to be making huge quantities of cash out of that company. Sounds fantastic to me. This does not feel balanced at all, but we shall see. A lot of support on these things that tell you the train phases and everything, but there's no other card there. So these take up a lot of space, and they're, you know, your normal size oh boy, charters for companies. But they contain more information than you would need. But of course, your trains cover it up. So maybe it's not as useful as little cards are, or separate little things, and maybe smaller ones of these. I'm never sure. I like this size, but for the small footprint, maybe a smaller charter would make sense. So the 6 train brings out the greens. That's a big deal. It brings out the capacity to build more rail line, and the greens mean that we're increasing the value here. Nope, I'm sorry, that doesn't increase until the 8. There's tiny little numbers in there. I thought that they would be like most XXs where it's based on the color. It is not. It's 4, 8, 12, 4, 8, 12, kind of the second train of each type or whatever. So I'm not going to make extra money off of my run. Too bad. What I do, however, is throw more money in my pocket. I built more track, what the hell, whatever. But the studio is important because it lets me build through, and now that's all I've got available. So maybe I do want to buy this. I can spend 45, I can spend up to 90 bucks on that. I want to kind of think about what I'm going to make. This is going to make cheese. I'm not going to count that $5 that I'm going to make off of it or not make off of it in terms of my flow. What I'd like to do is buy more shares of this, however, and it's sitting at 90 a share. So, you know, if I spend 90 on this, I can buy one more share. But here, 25, 35, 40, maybe I only want to spend 50 on it and keep more cash in my company treasury. If I spend the 90, 25, 35, 40, I still won't have enough money probably to buy another share of something. So, okay. So what did I say, 50? Yeah, 50 is what I want to spend. That guarantees me my purchase. That puts this over in the treasury. It's going to start collecting cash in there, and I'll have enough money in my pocket to put that 90 bucks, well, to put 90 bucks back in, so I actually make more money in my company. I will not have enough to make my train yet. Okay, things just got complicated because I probably want to fuck around with the order. This company here ran, it's got a nice setup now. It's running at 7 a share or 70 bucks. Great. Still not enough to up its share value at all. But I have this, which could actually bump in another 20, which would give me a share value, some share value. This can be closed to get the plus 20 token. Which I could give myself money for it. Its base is 75. I just made 7 times 8. Which is a lot of money. More than I think I put in there, but I guess not. 7 times 8 is something I have trouble calculating, 56. So I could have spent like 40 bucks into my pocket. That wouldn't give me enough to get an upgrade. So I'm going to wait another turn before I get that token. I still don't have enough money to get this and put the token in and start making more money. I still don't have enough money to buy another train. Not that I particularly want one, but that means I don't really need another token, which means all kinds of things. So yeah, I'm just sitting there with them. Syracuse. Well, I could build this. Great. We want to do that, right? I don't know. Because if I lay that, I'm connecting to a company, to a track, and now I have to raise emergency funds. I don't have enough money. I go bankrupt. Is that a bad thing? That might be the right thing to do. So, let's take a look at the emergency funding. And I have never seen a game do this kind of stuff. Okay. So, I have no train. I'm required. My treasury wouldn't be enough to buy the cheapest train. I cannot arrange a deal. Great. To make up for the shortfall, I must contribute from my personal money. I can thus sell enough stock until the money's been raised. Once I raised enough to buy the cheapest available train, I have to stop. So, I would be paying this share, which I must get rid of, 47 bucks, 97, 107, 200. I actually have enough money to buy that train. I do not want to set this up. Right? 47 bucks for this, assuming it's worth that much. 47 bucks, 97, 107. This is going to cost me 104 to put in there and get the 100 bucks there. So I absolutely cannot put this in. Okay. Because if I go bankrupt, I'm losing a share, I'm losing my cash, whatever. But what about this? This is worth 110 bucks. And it would let me start somewhere else. Again, I don't want to do this yet. I might want to do it somewhere else. But yeah, I do not feel at all comfortable. So we just keep going down. And we can only lay that track in the one configuration because it's set up in that way. And it's going to hook me up. That would be great normally, but no. God damn. All right, on to purple. Let's see what they're doing. The thing is, you know, if I wiped myself out for my 20% share, well, it would be worth 47 bucks a share. I wouldn't have any cash on hand. Anybody who could raise 141 bucks, right? Just has me. You know, that's not a hell of a lot of cash. There may be people who, instead of floating their own railroad, take over my new choo-choo with the 6H train that I just funded. So again, you know, I mean, there's just no way that I can get away with laying that track. All right. Think about purple. Purple's got a couple $100 bucks on them. That's enough to buy me another train if I so desire. Because I think I want to upgrade my city instead. This could be put multiple ways. No, can't be put like that, which means it has to be put like that. Okay. That's probably what I want to lay. At some point, I want this so that I can lay this track. And I probably want that other train now. So yes, because I'll have all kinds of track. So I will upgrade this. That costs me nothing because it's flat terrain. And now I run 1, 2, 3 for 70 bucks. Which puts me up to the top, nope, to the top line stuff. If I pay out, I go forward. Yay! And then I'll buy the train. I forgot I had a share of this to sell when I made his decisions. I'm sticking with them, but I probably could have put 2 shares in if I'd so desired. Less, something I am going to wear back on. This guy has some cash in hand. 54 bucks. he is going to buy his own share back. That's something that's not common at all. So I'm just winding back to that because now I have enough money. I could buy a number of different things. I could buy a green. I could buy the purple from the bank. Did it really make sense to buy it from the company? I don't know, but whatever. It's what I did. But now I think I'm going to buy my own share, throw some more of my cash into my company. I could, however, just hold off. If I had enough money, which is 108, to buy the double share, I would. Seeing crazy amounts of fluctuation just to fund these companies, right? So even though this is a great company, he bought a share of it, but he sold a share, dropped it in there, dropped the price, probably means not going to be able to be sold out and go up any further. Getting dangerously close. Terrible things could happen. As long as I keep paying out, I can hold my place, because once you hit the bottom, you don't slide across the bottom. But if you get in that left column, like this poor fella is, you could die. But this allowed me to throw some more cash into my own company. Bright or not, hard to tell. I've got more shares of that thing, so I kind of want to, making good money off this two-train company as compared to bonusing my own company that I'm stuck with 2 shares of. Yeah, I want to throw the money in my own company, definitely. See if this guy can get started yet. Well, he's able to. He's got enough cash after dumping another share, but that drops the price of this down to 36, which means the guy who's winning the game is able to slip himself. And this comes from the bank, so the money goes to the bank rather than to the company, and I hope I did that all right. Yeah, because the only share that was out there before, the company did buy, so all the purchases have been from the company so far, except for that one. But yeah, this is just craziness. 36 a share. That thing's lost almost half its value. And it's not bad at all. It's running 2 trains now there, whatever. It'll make some of it up. Able to get precisely $200 in here, actually. Shares I sold, 47 bucks each. It just works out that way. That means I have enough money to get moving, and I'll go back some more, but then I can buy that big 6H train and upgrade this track and make this run. Now this is a $60 port though. That's what's good about Syracuse. Yeah, I didn't notice that. So it's going to come screaming out with a lot of money, but not this turn. So its shares are not worth buying unless you're worried somebody's going to sell them all out. And I think we moved the priority. I had it there temporarily because I thought he was passing, but then I realized, wow, he's got enough money to buy something. I don't think anybody wants to buy this out. He doesn't have the cash for it, which means we are going to slide into 2 operating rounds between each stock round, and I am loading this up. And this has been a crazy ride so far. It really has. I am just as bemused as I was, with the first game of 1830 I played, where I watched somebody doing great and then crash and lose the game and catapult me into a victory somehow, and then some others like 1817 recently. So there's a lot of weirdness going on here. The question is, was it foreordained? Was his purchase, by the purchase of the privates, was his purchase of that $150 private that gave him the best company in the game, at least to start with, location-wise, and not a bad company at all in a lot of ways, did that just, make the game? And it's not like it was foreordained from the point where the game was set up. It was from when the privates were purchased, right? With a fair amount of knowledge of the game, that private with this company as the number one company might have generated a very, very different opening bid. But my view on it was, it's kind of like the B&O. No, it's a lot better than the B&O. It is a $75 bonus in your pocket from its par value. It's happened to be aligned with probably the best starting company you could get. It just, wow. All right, up it goes.